Hi, I'm Veronica Wasek with 5-Minute Bookkeeping, and I help Shopify sellers to set up, organize, and streamline their financial systems, whether you're looking for DIY, done with you, or done for you financials. In this video, I'm going to share with you my system for doing your Shopify bookkeeping in 6 monthly steps. Do you want to do your own Shopify bookkeeping? Well, while it can be a bit complex, I will break down the steps that you need to follow every month to do your own bookkeeping if you're a Shopify seller. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 6 monthly steps you should be following every month. The 6 monthly steps for doing your bookkeeping every month are record, reconcile, review, revise, restrict, and remit. Let's take a look at each one. First one is record. We're going to add transactions to QuickBooks. And for many of you, you're probably familiar with doing that through the bank feeds in QuickBooks. So we'll be connecting QuickBooks to your credit cards, to your bank account, and then you'll be in the bank feeds adding transactions. And it may look something like this when you're going into QuickBooks Online, and then you'll work through the transactions in your bank account and then transactions in your credit card. You may also be adding some transactions manually in QuickBooks, possibly some bills, bill payments, and other types of transactions. And we'll also add transactions into QuickBooks by using integrated apps such as A2X, payroll, maybe receipt capture, and other things. I highly recommend that you use A2X to sync Shopify with QuickBooks Online. A2X is a great app because it allows you to bring over summarized transactions into QuickBooks, rather than bringing in a whole bunch of detailed transactions that can really just clutter up your QuickBooks Online data. Check the description box below to learn more about A2X and also to get a 20% discount. The second step is reconcile. And here we want to reconcile our QuickBooks transactions to our bank and credit card statements. Now, you might wonder, why do you do this? Well, this ensures that you have no missing or duplicated transactions in your books, and is really the foundation of doing your own books. And the other type of reconciliation is where you reconcile the payment processor clearing account balances. Now, this is a bit more advanced, but let's take a quick look in QuickBooks and see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I am in QuickBooks. I went to Accounting, Reconcile, and here's where you can do a bank reconciliation. You will need your bank statement or credit card statement in order to do that. And then I talked about reconciling the clearing accounts in QuickBooks, and these are the clearing accounts for your payment processors. So you might see PayPal clearing. You may see other balances. Perhaps if you use Amazon Pay, you might see a balance here. And what these balances represent are basically the timing difference between when the sale is made in Shopify and when you receive the money from your different payment processors. So this should be reviewed and reconciled each month. Step 3 is review. And here we're wanting to review the books for accuracy. We want to ensure that we don't have any old items in the bank feeds. We want to make sure that all of the accounts have been reconciled. We also want to review the bank reconciliations and make sure that we don't have any old uncleared transactions in the bank reconciliation window. We'll look for old balances in the undeposited funds account. We'll review the profit and loss report for unusual or unexpected balances. And we'll also review the balance sheet report for unusual and unexpected balances. And we'll need to investigate any unusual transactions or balances that you might see in the books. Once we do this review, the next step is to revise. So based on the review that we do, we may need to make some corrections. So let's take a look at a quick example of what that looks like. I'm looking at the profit and loss report for May of 2020 for this sample company. And we can see that we have a product income, cost of goods sold, and then various expenses. And as I'm reviewing the books, I noticed that, hey, you know what? Telephone expense looks higher than normal, and I don't see any electricity expenses. So I'll go ahead and click on this amount. It'll allow me to drill down. Then I can see what is included in this account. And I can see here that this is paying Reliant Energy. This is actually the vendor that I pay for electricity and for gas. So this is actually categorized in the wrong account because it's under telephone. So I need to make a quick correction. So I'm just going to click on this transaction. It'll open up the expense transaction, and then I will select the correct account, gas and electric, save and close. And now I will go back to my report summary, and I can see now that I am correctly showing my gas and electric expense in the right account category, and that now my telephone expense is also correct. That was a quick example of how you revise the books. It's just basically making some corrections and putting transactions in the right account categories. Now let's take a look at the next step. The next step is to restrict. And here what we're looking to do is to close the books, or it's called closing the books in QuickBooks, but it's basically protecting the books from making accidental errors or changes after we have done all this work of entering transactions, reconciling, reviewing, and revising them. Let's take a look and see how that's done. We'll go ahead and click on the gear icon or the cog icon. Go to Account and Settings, Advanced, and click on this section where it says Close the Books. Make sure that this is checked to close the books. Enter the closing date. Since we did the books through May 31st, we'll go ahead and enter that date. And then you have a choice of allowing changes after viewing a warning, or allow changes after viewing a warning and entering a password. So we'll change it to this. We'll require a password to make any changes. We'll go ahead and enter that password, confirm, and save. That basically closes the books in QuickBooks and keeps you from making any accidental changes to transactions that you have already entered. And our sixth and final step is Remit. And since you are a Shopify seller, you probably have some sales taxes that you need to deal with. So you need to collect those sales taxes, file those sales tax returns, and remit those payments to the different sales tax authorities in various states. Sales taxes can be quite a complex issue, so make sure that you check the description box below and look for the link to look at the video in which I explain sales taxes for Shopify sellers. The most important thing you need to keep in mind is that you need to avoid procrastination. So if you want to work on your own books, you need to be committed to working on them every day. And that's why I'm such a big proponent of 5-minute bookkeeping. Just spend 5 minutes a day, or maybe even just 5-minute increments, just working on your books, and you'll see that little by little, you'll make some progress in working on your own books. I'm Veronica Wasek with 5-Minute Bookkeeping. If you're ready to work with a trusted and reliable financial pro, then check the description box below to learn more about my services and see if we'd be a good fit for working together. If this content is helping you, make sure that you subscribe, ring the bell, and give me a thumbs up. Check the description box below for all of my free resources and a link to join my Facebook community. Let me know in the comments if there are any other topics that you'd like me to cover in the future. I'm here to help you.